Good afternoon, everyone. So I welcome you all today. I am Swati Agarwal from Team Lees Hills University, and this is from ELS Department, Enterprise Learning Services. This is a department wherein we serve our customers and clients individuals for almost all IT and non-IT trainings, soft skills trainings. So today we are going to be part of this webinar wherein we are going to have Vijay as our speaker for Oracle EPM Cloud. Vijay has experience for over 15 years and he has delivered n number of trainings for Oracle. Vijay, from here you can start the session.
Thank you so much, and I welcome you all to this webinar. So I am Vijay, and I've got over 15 years of experience on Hyperion. Worked on different verticals of Hyperion and for different clients, from banking sector to manufacturing sector to hospitality, and also to the finance sectors. So this is a small overview of Hyperion, a product overview of Hyperion, and what it can do. So please feel free to ask me any questions on Hyperion. I would be able to answer those questions. In case if I'm not able to answer those questions, I'll send you an email separately so that, or I'll be able to send you an email about the answers if I'm not able to answer any questions. So feel free to ask any questions related to Hyperion. So what it does, what it cannot do, what are the completed tools for Hyperion. So you can ask me anything related to that. I'll be able to answer them. But today's webinar is all about having a bigger picture of Hyperion, what it does. So we have two different versions, flavors of Hyperion. So we have on-prem versions, and we also have something called as cloud products of Hyperion. So when Hyperion has evolved, so it basically evolved on-prem, and eventually, it moved into the cloud products. So any new implementations for the clients, they would choose cloud over the on-prem because it has got a lot many benefits related to the cost wise, and also the time has got decreased. The implementation time has been reduced a lot when compared to on-prem. So there are different products in within Hyperion. So basically, Hyperion is a name of a company, and Oracle has acquired this company in the year 2007. So that's the reason it is coming into the Oracle umbrella right now. So there are different products within Hyperion. So one of the product is Essbase. People who wants to learn into Hyperion, so they should be aware of the product called Essbase. So Oracle Essbase. So basically, Essbase stands for Extended Spreadsheet Database. That is the name of Essbase. So it's a database which would store data by itself. It does not depend upon any other database. It's a database on its own. So it does not depend upon any other database. So it stores the data, and the end users would connect to the Essbase, and they would retrieve the data from Essbase, and they would analyze the data from Essbase. Okay, they can analyze any kind of data. It can be your sales, it can be your cash flow, it can be your balance sheet, or it can be your income statement reports. So anything that
not using it.
they are basically they retrieve the data from Essbase. Okay, so I would suggest other if I were to go on mute.
না না তোমার আসল ফোনটা
Yeah,
এটাও
yeah,
নিয়েছো কি?
yeah. So please, can you
Hi
everyone go on
Vijay,
mute?
can you speak?
Okay.
I am sorry to interrupt you. Can you speak a bit louder? We
Oh,
can't
okay.
hear you properly.
You can't hear me properly. 1 second. Hold on. I'm sorry. Give me a minute. How about now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, but it is not that loud.
Oh, it's not that loud. Okay. How about now? I'm speaking loud now. Can you hear me?
No,
Yes,
I
it
think
is much, much better.
it is
Yeah.
clear.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Yes,
is.
yes.
Okay. So Essbase is a database. That's what I was saying. So Essbase stands for Extended Spreadsheet Database. So it's a database which would store data by itself, and the end users are mainly your finance users. So all the products of Hyperion are mainly used by finance teams. So even if you get a requirement, you would be talking to the finance team, and you would get the requirement from the finance team. Okay, so you'd be talking to the CFOs or the FP&A departments, and you would understand the requirement. So the end users, which means that the FP&A users would connect to Essbase, and they would generate the reports, and the reports would be retrieved. So that is the main purpose of using Sbase. It can be your management reports, it can be legal reports, internal reports, it can be any kind of reports. We can load the data in Sbase and we can retrieve the data from Sbase. So the same product is been called as OAC, which is called as Oracle Analytics Cloud. That is the name of the cloud product. The OAC has been, it has got Sbase and also it has got one more product bundled within it, which is called as OBIEE. It is called as Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition. So that's the name of OAC. It does the same thing what Sbase does, but the name has been different, which is called as OAC on the cloud. Okay, so can you go on mute? There is a lot of echo. I mean, I'm sorry. Can everyone go on mute? Yeah, more. Yeah. Okay, that's better now. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, so that's what Sbase would do. So we also have one more product which is called as Hyperion Financial Management. So Hyperion Financial Management is again a tool for finance people. So people are coming from the finance background. I mean, financial management, basically what it does is basically it's a consolidation tool. It consolidates all your accounts, and now say, for example, a company can have an organization can have a lot of subsidiary companies. Now I can have these subsidiary companies across my globe. Okay, so Hyperion Financial Management will help me to do all my consolidation into one parent company. Okay, that's the main purpose of using financial management. If an organization wants to
I
consolidate their
think
accounts,
Dinesh, please, can you please mute?
yeah, it's better. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. So Hyperion Financial Management is a tool which does all your consolidations. When I say consolidation, it basically consolidates your data from your subsidiary companies. So we are consolidating our balance sheets and also we are consolidating our P&L accounts. That is the main purpose of using Hyperion Financial Management. So Hyperion Financial Management, it also does a lot of things apart from consolidations. Now you can also post your journal entries. You can also do your currency conversions. So all these things, functionalities are inbuilt within Hyperion Financial Management. You can convert your currencies. You can eliminate your intercompany eliminations. So all these things are inbuilt within Hyperion Financial Management. So at the end of the day, I can publish a true profit and loss account, and also a balance sheet. So that's the main purpose of using Hyperion Financial Management. The same product is being called as Financial Consolidation and Close Cloud on the cloud, and there are other features which are inbuilt, like your closing cycles are involved. I can send an approval. Approvals are also involved within FCCS. So these all additional functionalities have been involved, and on the cloud there is it's called as FCCS, which is called as Financial Consolidation and Close Cloud. So we also have one more product which is called as Hyperion Financial Reports. The same product has been called as Oracle Enterprise Performance Reporting Cloud on the cloud. So basically what it does is that it's a reporting tool where I can connect to Sbase or a financial management, and I can generate reports. The end users can generate a report, and they can convert the report into either HTML or a PDF format, and we can also publish these reports. Publish the reports on a daily basis, and we can send a PDF report to an end user, and the report can be either your daily incomes and expenses, how are your expenses looking like. So all these things can generate a report, and we can convert that report into a PDF format, and we can send that report to an end user on his email. So that's what Hyperion Financial Reporting would do. It's a small reporting tool, which I can see the data either in the charts and chart wise and everything. That is the main purpose of using Hyperion Financial Reports. We also have a product called DRM, which stands for Data Relationship Management. And the same product has been called as Oracle Enterprise Data Management Cloud on the cloud version. So the data relationship management. So what the basic purpose of using DRM is that it is a centralized repository where I store all my information at one place, and I can push those members either into Sbase or a financial management or a planning or profitability and cost management to other products of Hyperion or to any other downstream systems. So, so basically, the data relationship management is a tool where I keep all my data at one place and push that into other places. The main purpose of using DRM is that now the client wants to see, or we want to know what was the hierarchy this year compared to last year, how many new changes has been happened, who has made the changes. So all these things, these things can be we can do all these things by using data relationship management. So, but it is a centralized repository where you maintain all your dimensions at one place, and I can push those into other products of Hyperion. That's the main purpose of using DRM. We have a product called Hyperion Planning, one of the successful and mostly widely used products by almost all clients. We call it as Hyperion Planning. So on the cloud, we call it as PBCS. So planning is basically, it's basically a budgeting and a forecasting tool. And each and every organization, they do budgets and they do budgeting and they do forecasting. And there are different methodologies to do their forecasting. They can say, they can implement a zero-based budgeting and forecasting, or they can implement a rolling forecasting, or they can implement a driver-based planning and forecasting. So Hyperion Planning will do all these things, but it's basically a budgeting and forecasting tool. And what do we do? On what items we do budgets? Again, we do our budgets and forecasting, again on incomes and expenses, or your cash flow statements, or a balance sheet. That's the main purpose of using Hyperion Planning. They do budget for the whole year. Maybe this is we are at 2020. So the budgets would start for the next 2021 in the month of August or September. They open the budget for 2021, and they say and they open the budgets, and they would do the budgets for the whole 1 year, and they freeze the budget, and month on month they do the forecasting based on the actuals. So they copy over the actuals data into the forecast, and so that's how they do forecasting. So basically that's called as a financial planning. So we do financial planning, which when I say financial planning, which means that we are doing a budgeting and forecasting on incomes and expenses or a balance sheet. That is called as a financial planning. Now say for example, some organizations, they do not want to implement financial planning, but they want to implement budgeting and forecasting on my employees. I want to know what is my basic salary, what is the number of hours the employee has worked, what is the taxes that I need to pay for that employee, or when the employee has been resigned, whether he has departed or resigned or terminated. So all these things, if I want to capture, then we don't implement financial planning. We implement something called as workforce planning. So workforce planning is again a budgeting and forecasting tool to do budgeting and forecasting on your employees, your basic salary, your benefits, bonus, everything would be captured in your Hyperion workforce planning. Now, some companies, they don't want to do even that. Maybe they want to do budgeting and forecasting on your assets. They might say, boss, they might say that, what is the life of the asset? Or is it beneficial for me to buy an asset or take a lease of an asset? Okay. When should I purchase a new asset? What is the value of the asset right now? So then we implement something called as CapEx planning. CapEx stands for Capital Asset Planning Expenditure. That would be implemented using CapEx planning. So apart from financial planning, if you want to implement workforce or CapEx planning, then we suggest the client to go for ePBCS. PBCS is only for a financial planning. I cannot do a workforce planning or a CapEx planning. So apart from financial planning, I also want to implement additional frameworks or additional modules like workforce or CapEx. Then we would choose ePBCS over PBCS. There is something called as public sector planning, where US counties, like your universities, counties in US, their requirement would be different. Then we would implement something called as public sector planning. There is something called as project financial planning, like your projects, contractual projects. Okay, then there is something called as project financial planning. So all this comes under ePBCS umbrella. So they would implement financial planning plus any one of these additional modules, either financial plus workforce, or they can go with financial plus workforce plus CapEx. They can implement everything. Okay, so then we go with ePBCS. So again, a budgeting and forecasting tool. That's what I said. Okay, employees, workforce, on your assets, there is something called as CapEx planning. We also have one more product, which is called as Account Reconciliation Manager, which is called as ARM. And on the cloud, we call it as ARCS, Account Reconciliation Cloud Services. Basically, it's a reconciling all your ledgers with your subledgers. So if there is any difference between your ledger and subledger, then we do some kind of adjustments. Maybe I want to do reconciliations between my cash book and also my bank statement. If these two are not matching, Then we reconcile it. We post an entry and then we reconcile it. And that's the main purpose of using ARM, which is called as Account Reconciliation Manager. We also have one more product, which is called as Hyperion Profitability and Cost Management, which is HPCM. And on the cloud, we call it as Profitability and Cost Management Cloud, which is called as PCMCS. It's basically allocating your cost to different divisions or to your different business units or to different cost centers. We allocate the cost. Maybe there might be a lot many drivers to allocate the cost. Say for example, if you're working on if there are 10 different projects which are running from a same premise. Now I have to the rent that you pay for that premise is same, but you have to allocate the rent premise to all these projects that are running across the board. So basically we allocate the cost to these different projects based on some basis, maybe based on the number of people that are working in that company, maybe the SFT that the project is occupying. There are a lot many drivers. Based on that, you allocate the cost, and I can do that by implementing Hyperion Profitability and Cost Management, which is called as HPCM. We also have one more product which is called as FDME. FDME stands for Financial Data Management Enterprise Edition, and on the cloud we call it as Data Management. So what this is basically an integration tool. So when I say integration tool, it can connect to a lot of your source systems. Now your source system can be either SAP, or it can be your PeopleSoft, or it can be your HCM, IP, or Workday. It can connect to many source systems, and it can bring the data, and it can load the data into any one of the products of Hyperion, either SBase, planning, HFM. Okay, it can do some kind of transformations, and then load that information into either one products of Hyperion. That's the main purpose of using FDME. It's basically an integration tool wherein it can connect to multiple source systems, and it can load the data into one of the products of Hyperion. That's the main purpose of using data management. Okay, so these are on a high level. These are all the products that we have in Hyperion. So any questions you have? Any questions that you want to ask?
No, actually, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to know. When you, purchase the EPBCS, right? So that OAC will not be included, right? So that is a separate, part of the licensing, right?
That is separate license. When you purchase
Okay.
EPBCS, you do not get OAC. OAC is a separate product. So these are all different separate products that you have to purchase. Okay, it's
Okay.
yeah.
So
it's a
if you
different
want
product.
to have both planning and airspace, then you need to go with both EPBCS and OAC, right?
Not exactly, basically. So if you purchase EPBCS, the backend for EPBCS is again SBase. That backend SBase is not shown to you in the EPBCS product. So, but everything goes at the backend, even if it is in the cloud. If I'm working on EPBCS, that goes into the SBase and sits the data there. But that SBase, individual SBase product is not shown to you.
Yeah, correct. Actually, I want to create only one reporting application, so I can do it from EPBCS, right? So if that is
Correct.
the case,
Yes,
okay,
yes, you can do it.
okay.
Yeah,
So
you can
no
do it.
need to go for a separate license,
No, you
OAC
don't have to.
license.
No, you don't have to go.
Okay.
EPBCS would be sufficient enough.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, very good question. Any other questions? Okay, so I'll just show you the product demo, how it looks like. So the cloud products of Hyperion. So this is how it looks like. So this is how you log in into the cloud environment. We get a URL and we get a user ID and password, and through this you log in into your cloud products of Hyperion, EPBCS. You get the service account, and this is how you log in into your cloud. Okay, so this is what you see in the first screen. In this cloud products, there is something called as we have enabled financials, and we also have enabled workforce. So you have to enable this for you to get financials as well as workforce. So this is your financial planning, and this is your workforce planning. So if you have enabled other modules, you will get you'll also get other things as well. So this is called as a cluster, and inside the cluster we get the cards. So in this card we have a revenue. We'll be able to implement. We can also be able to do budgeting and forecasting on my expense, and we should also be able to do budgeting and forecasting on my balance sheet, and we'll also be able to do budgeting and forecasting on my cash flow statements as well. And when you click on workforce, we should be able to do something called as compensation planning, which is nothing but your salaries, expenses, your bonus, your taxes, and everything goes under compensation planning. Okay, so that's what is workforce planning. And if you have enabled anything else, then you would get those as well. Okay, so these are called as frameworks, and we enable those frameworks. And how do I do it? We go to navigate, and we go to product called configure. We select the model. Okay, so there's something called as financials, workforce, capital, project planning. So this is what are all called as different frameworks and modules. Okay, now say for example, if you want to go and enable or yeah, and click on enable features. Okay, so this is telling you this we have enabled some of the features. Basically, we are telling to the system that I want to do my budgeting and forecasting based on my employee as well as the job that they hold. And also I want to calculate my benefits, taxes, additional earnings. Then you check all these things. And I also want to handle new hires, I want to handle my terminations and transfers. Then you check all these options and click on enable. So this product would be enabled, and accordingly the system would get configured accordingly, and these features would be enabled in the workforce planning. The same goes with the financials as well. I close this and I go with my financials and click on enable features. So this is saying you whether you want to do your revenues based on your product, and you also want to enable your drivers, then you check them. And you also want to do your budgeting and forecasting based on marketing, sales, travel and entertainment, expense, facilities. If you have all those drivers, then you check them. If you don't have it, you do not check them. Okay. So in the same way, whether you want to do your income statement based on gross profit or contribution margin, then you enable one of them. Okay, and accordingly the system would get configured. The same way for balance sheets, uh, you'd have assets and liabilities and also the drivers associated with it. Then when you check them, all your assets, your chart of accounts would come down. The same way your cash flow statements, whether are you using a direct cash flow statements or indirect cash flow statements. Most of the US clients, they would go with indirect based up, but whereas Indian clients, they go with the direct cash flow statements. And when you enable these features, the system would configure itself, and all these the chart of accounts would come into picture automatically. You don't have to do anything. Okay. So additionally, if you have any other accounts apart from what Oracle is giving you, then you can also bring your own chart of accounts and configure your system accordingly. Okay. So once your system is configured, then we load the data into the system, and then we go ahead and load the data and write some calculation scripts according to the business requirement, so that the calculations runs correctly. And then we would be using a reporting tool, and end users would connect and they would retrieve the data accordingly. That's how the overall picture goes if you're implementing any EPBCS or a PBACS project. Okay, so we configure it, we create the metadata, we load the dimensions, we load the data into the system, we execute some calculations and give it to the user, so that users would log into the system and they would generate the reports which they require. You're getting it what I'm saying, everyone?
Yeah, Vijay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so then they go to either a revenue or expense or a balance sheet. Okay, so now say for example I go with an expense, they would be able to see all your forms here, and they would be able to open the forms and they would be able to see the data. Okay, so it takes some time. Okay. Okay, so this is how expense analysis would look like. Okay, and this is how we show it to the end users. Saying that these are all your expenses for a particular department. Yeah, these are your cost departments, and this is your selling and general administrative expenses. And this form, this would come up. This graph would come automatically once you do it. And we say this is how a representation would be shown to the end user. Okay, so there are some expenses. There are some distribution expenses. There are some press expenses. Okay, so these are the data forms that we create, and we give it to the user so that end users would, analyze the data. Okay, same goes with balance sheet. Same goes with cash flow. Same goes with your compensation planning as well. Okay, so once we load the data, we can also automate all the process. There is a tool called EPM Automate, through which we would be able to automate the systems. When I say automate, the system will automatically load the data into the system. It will automatically load it, and it will also automatically do the calculations, so that you don't have to do anything. So the system would do it by itself. It will pick up the data, it would load the data, it would do all run your calculations. Okay, and so the users can log in and they would just analyze the data. Okay, so in the same way, we can also go to the data management from here. So I click on this, which is called as data management, which is FDM-EE, which is an integration tool.
Hi Vijay, one quick question.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, actually in our on-premises, right, we have one workspace where we can use, we can access everything inside, right, like HFM, planning,
Correct.
and
Correct.
data management. But here we have a separate URLs for each and every components, or
Correct.
do we have any
Right.
single?
Right. No, it's separate URL. For basically for FCCS, there is a separate URL.
Okay.
For EPBCS, this is the URL.
Okay, for FDMEE, then we need to use separate URL.
No, it is combined within that.
Okay,
So
okay, within that. Okay.
Okay, so I go here, navigate, and go to your FDM data management, which is FDME, which is an integration tool.
Okay.
So on-prem, we can integrate with lot many source systems, but when it comes to the cloud product, we can only integrate with only few source systems. We can only integrate with Oracle Fusion Cloud. We can also integrate with NetSuite, and we can also integrate with HCM, Human Capital Management. Now, if you have Workday or anything else, then we cannot do a direct integration. It has to be a file-based integration. So you have to get a file, and then we have to integrate.
Yeah, will it connect to the database like SQL or Oracle?
I did not get you.
Will that FDM, right, have a source system as data warehouse like tables, SQL tables?
Yes.
Will
Yes.
it connect? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you say it connects, I'm really I think I lost questions. So basically, it can connect to this. The data what you're bringing into FDME is again stored in a relational table in the backend. Okay. So if
Okay.
that FDME can connect to lot many source systems on the on-prem, but when it comes to the cloud, in on-prem it can connect to SAP, or it can connect to multiple source systems. But when it comes to your cloud, it can only connect to 3 source systems. When you go here, I click on Setup tab. I click on my source system, for example, and click on Add. Okay, if you see here, okay, it can connect to only HCM Cloud, ERP Cloud, NetSuite, and File. It can only
Okay.
connect to these 3 products.
Oh, okay. Got it, Vijay. Thank you.
Yeah. But wherein if you are seeing the same product on-prem, you would have multiple, there 15 to 20 source system it can connect.
Yeah, actually, my question was whether it connects to the SQL Server or not. I mean, if we have the data in the table, right? So whether it will directly pull the data from there or not. So it looks like it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, that's what my
Cloud,
question was.
yeah. Cloud it does not.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Very good question. Okay. So you integrate your systems and you pull the data and you load the data into your cloud products like EPBCS or FCCS. You load it. So that's how it works.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Yeah. So any questions you have? Any more questions that you want to ask? So this is an overview that we have covered of each and every product that we have. So the look and feel is different between on-prem and the cloud. So this is the cloud look and feel, how it looks like. So once you get this URL, and then you can build your system, and we can give this to the end users. They can analyze. Once you load it, this is how the graphical representations are there for the end users. So we can also change them. It is not fixed. We can also change this cards, and we can keep our own card. We can change the name as well. We can change the logo of it. Everything can be customized according to the requirement. We can do it, and everything can be customizable.
So the only way to load the data is through FDME, right?
Through
I mean,
data management. Yeah,
yeah,
through
through data management. No other way.
There is no other way. There
Okay,
is no
got
other
it.
way.
Okay, thank you.
Through data management only you have to load it.
Okay, Vijay, thank you.
Okay, got it. Very good. So any other people have got any questions? Any questions you can ask me? Any questions that you have?
So in this budget planning, right? Say example, if the actuals exceed the plan, is it going to do a hard stop or a soft warning?
Can you repeat your question, sir? I did not get you.
So say example, we have plan for say $10,000.
Okay.
Say in that particular cost center or in that particular area, I'm exceeding my planned budget. Say I'm already consuming around 15K dollars.
Okay. Okay.
Is that
Got it.
going to stop, or is it going to just do a plan versus actual?
Okay. Okay. So basically, we can restrict the system not to not to enter the amount, not to do the budget for higher than 10,000. We can restrict it, or there is something called as approvals in your planning application as well. So when I say approvals, now say for example, if you take any travel expense, now if a travel expense is more than $18,000, I can send that amount to higher levels for approvals, because it's a budget and someone has to approve it, right? So it goes to the approvals, and only if it approves, then your in the system would freeze that amount. Or else what I can also tell to the system is that please enter an amount less than 18,000. Or else we can stop that. We can also stop entering the data if the user enters a data of more than $10,000. We can stop entering him and give a pop-up message saying that please enter an amount less than 10,000. That can be done in the system.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is that your question? Did I answer your question correctly? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, very good. Very good question. Any other questions? Any questions? Anything? It can be any questions that you get in your mind. You can ask me anything. Anything. Any questions you have? It can be product related, or it can be anything. Yeah.
So, I mean, will it support that LCA migration from on-prem, or we need
Correct.
to redo
Yes.
everything?
No, it supports LCM migration. So from on-prem to if you are migrating from on-prem to cloud, it supports LCM. Through LCM, we migrate it.
Oh, okay, Vijay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So and the competitive tools for Hyperion is like we have OneStream is a competitive tool. We have Anaplan, which is also one more other competitive products of Hyperion. So we have OneStream, we have Anaplan, we have Host Analytics. Okay. So these are the different products which are competitive for Hyperion. Yes. So it has got their own limitations. So there are basically competitive tools for Hyperion as well. But all the products of Hyperion are mainly used by finance team. So finance is a team which would be using these products, and you would be getting the requirement from the finance team only, so that you understand the requirement and then you implement it in Hyperion.
Yeah, actually, I have one quick question regarding the metadata integration, right, from DRM to EPBCS. So it will be like, do we need to do any, it will be done through FDME, or it will be having a direct integration from the application to the DRM?
So it would be, so you're talking about DRM, right? The DRM product.
Correct. DRM, when we add any of the nodes to the DRM or any of the members to the DRM, will it get deployed to the application directly, or it will be routed through FDME? Like all the metadata and data is through FDME, right? Per my understanding, EPBCS. So do we need to, do we have a direct integration between DRM and the application, or it will be routed through FDME, like
No,
data management?
it would be routed through data management. DRM would generate a flat file, and again the data management will pick that file and it would load the data into the system.
Okay, so there is no direct integration.
No, there is no direct integration. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, Vijay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is the quick overview of the products, the different products that we have. So if you do not have any questions, then I can hand it over to Swati. Okay, Swati, are you there? It's over to you. So
Yeah, Vijay, I can hear.
yeah, you can hear, right? So yeah, so it's over to
If
you.
anybody has any questions, you can ask, as he said. Otherwise, you can also write to us. The recording will be shared with you on your email addresses. So, Vijay, I think we can conclude the same now.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you, everyone, for joining in.